aye.
Is
Aye.
that for both?
No, just one, just the regular meeting is what we're doing now.
April 9th meeting.
Yep. Need a motion for the budget meeting on April 23rd. If there's no discussion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion we accept the original April 23rd budget meeting.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, let the record show it was almost unanimous. Financial report, the budget. Mr. Bradshaw, I hear what you're saying, the CPA, and I'm not making no excuses for Miss Cindy, Mr. Weaver, or nobody. Sean had to help him out, which is down there. Miss Cindy's son got in a car accident, so she's been in and out of the office. We know the situation, the help that Mr. Weaver. So we did everything we could. I mean, we sent it out and then they sent it back when they could. This isn't us getting it and holding it and saying we're gonna wait. Listen, I want y'all to get it too. I want everybody to be able to have questions or call me with questions before we get here, so we can have everything hashed out and when we get to the meeting it runs smooth. I don't want us to get the budget a day before the meeting. You know, Mr. Bradshaw, that's not what me and Ms. Brenda want, by no means. We're on the board with you for that. But just, please, just have a little bit of grace for Mr. Weaver and what the whole CPA company down there is going to do. Please.
Can we go ahead and have those emailed to everybody? I'd like to have a digital copy for everybody.
Yes, this one.
I did email them.
Today?
No. What do you want emailed today? I mean, I emailed the budgets before today.
Oh, no, the financial data that's what we're talking about now. The monthly financials that we received, we did get those via email.
Yes.
So I'm just asking if you'll go ahead and email them.
Again,
You
And
haven't
we never
emailed,
received them.
you never got them? Because, you know what? Maybe you didn't get them because my email shows that I sent them out. But the service has been, was in and out a couple of days, but I did email them to you, but I will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
and the
Did
spreadsheet.
anyone else get them? I might go
No, I
ahead
haven't
and
got them. Because I'm especially looking forward to getting the packet ready and they weren't here. It makes things a lot easier to get them in
I
advance.
understand.
So it was probably the email. I'm talking about the budget that we sent in and we didn't get it till yesterday.
Are you talking about that one?
Yes, ma'am. That's the one I'm talking, that's the one I told Mr. Bradshaw was talking about.
Yeah,
I was
I got
trying-
it
Talking
yesterday.
about the month.
I got one yesterday, is that the one just rendered
The
that
one
one?
that you got
13.
yesterday
That was the budget.
was.
That was the budget we worked on. in
The fiscal
budget.
year.
Okay, hold on.
Hey!
Hold on.
That's
Listen, everybody's talking, and that's another reason why Ms. Brenda has a hard time with the minutes. So please, everybody have patience. You will get to say what you have to say. Nobody needs to talk over nobody, because that's another reason why she's been having to redo the minutes. So, Mr. Bradshaw, the one that you was talking about was probably the emails that we didn't get. Melissa, did you get them at all?
I got the one just for the fiscal year 25 annual budget.
Daniel,
That's the only one I got.
I'm talking about the monthly budget performance report.
Yeah, I
Will
did
you-
not.
Spreadsheet.
I did not.
Brenda says she thinks you emailed them out. I
I
didn't see
did,
it.
I emailed them out on, I don't remember when, but I did email them out. It was like last week.
Okay, a week before, that's where the communication has to be before the meeting. The questions have to be before the meeting. Everything has to be before the meeting so we can understand what's going on and make it happen again. Ms. Brenda, you could have emailed them again if we had known. If you don't get them, Mr. Bradshaw, Melissa, Ms. Gale, and Mr. Long, if y'all don't get them before a week, before the Tuesday, before the meeting, call Miss Brenda, email her or something to find out where it's at. Okay, I would rather for her to be talked to a week before than at the meeting, questioning why she didn't send it. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Brenda, what you got?
That's fine.
You bet. Mr. Bachelor,
So Mayor, that would be too soon because she never had them ready a week before the meeting.
you just said you did, didn't you?
She may have
Well,
this
this
time.
time it was because the first came up on, a Wednesday, because I normally wait for the bank statements to come before I send them to the CPA along with the other information that I have to send. So I have to wait until at least the last day of the month before I send them, that information. But, because I went back to double check to see if I had done that. I did that a couple of days ago. And I'm sure I'm sent them, but I don't know. Maybe we will have a problem with my computer.
Inspect, you hit a couple poles and everything else, so, okay. All right. Any other questions about the financials, the budget? The monthly P&L is what we're talking about right now.
I have a question about the repair to the toilet here at Town Hall, $894.
No, it's $900. I told y'all, Miss Gavin, I said it was a broken pipe. It was a broken pipe, and when there's a broken pipe, it ain't easy to get to it.
So it wasn't the toilet, it was the plumbing.
It was it was the plumbing, it was the piping, yes, ma'am. It was the
Because I'm
piping.
thinking we just got a new toilet for less than $900.
Well, he had to go in, he had to pull the toilet, he had to cut the ring off. There was two. When they put it in there, when they put the building together, they set the first one too low. So they put another one on top of it. In 89 or whatever, when the building was built. So they was two of them in there. Okay. Well, over the years, it got to leaking in there. So that's what happened. It leaked in there. And even though he changed the gaskets on it, it didn't matter. That didn't affect the smell from not coming out that little bitty hole that was made over the years. So, I think it was what did it say, 890, yeah.
Almost nine.
Yeah, he must have given us a deal because it was over 900 the night that I signed the ticket, so he must have cut something off. He might have felt sorry. We was out here, me and Roller Ruler was out here till 9 o'clock that night fixing that toilet. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
So that issue couldn't resolve.
Can you smell it?
Smell like it. It was here. Smell like old sniffers telling me it is. Yes, we squeeze out Mr. Long. Yeah. Any other questions? If there's no other questions, we'll move on to the Department Committee reports. Police Department Chief.
You guys got the report, okay, if there's any questions on the report.
Your upcoming education on 5/1.
Yes.
It's in Darlington apparently. Who's doing that? Is that the?
It was the recorder's office.
Yeah, okay, I'm just curious about that. I'd be interested to know the definition of that.
The non-typical death. They showed us different stuff, there was some stuff like how things happen in house fires. We got to see a lot of images of autopsies, and to the average person it would have looked like a murder, but it wasn't. And just different ways of looking at death scenes. It was pretty good, it was fantastic.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
It was fantastic.
I'm good. You got anything? You want to tell us anything?
I'm starting to plan for National Night Out. I know some of you got the letter already. It's gonna be August 6th from 6 to 9, maybe it's 6 to 8, 6 to 9. I think it's the 48th National Night Out. So, starting to plan for that.
You said August 6th
August 6th.
or 6 to 9?
Yes.
A lot of sixes in there.
That's it? No more questions? Thank you, Chief, we appreciate it. Next is playgrounds. Mr. Long?
Well, we met today, but, and we, pretty much, didn't have a full house, so gave out the information that I had, which was the, inspection from last time to go over. But really, I need to try to find out some information from you, because, at the last meeting, you indicated that you were working on some funding for multiple playgrounds. So I'm trying to determine, you know, what your success was in that respect.
Well, we got money in the budget right now for the playground, so why don't we just go ahead and look at that report that we have and kind of get it up to, a little bit up to snuff. You know, the stuff that we can do that's not gonna cost us $10,000. Like, you know, it talks about rust, and it talks about, you know, the ground's not being right. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
what I was trying to get at, because in my mind, I didn't want to spend money if it was going to be replaced by a new playground.
Right, well,
So it's kind of a catch-22 of sorts.
we're gonna have to spend some just to get it up where it passes inspection, Mr. Long.
Right.
You know, so I mean, that's our main thing is, nobody's, I mean, God forbid anything happens, but, you know, they can always say because it was rusty or because the ground was so low and underneath the swings is why my little girl's feet couldn't catch it. She fell off and busted her forehead or whatever, you know, there could be anything can happen. But just, you know, my main goal is for the committee, and is the committee up for doing stuff to the playground as far as like, I mean, there's a lot of rust on there, going out there and sanding and maybe spraying some stuff on the playground to buff it up a little bit, or y'all just want to have a meeting and come tell us y'all need money and we'll put new stuff in there. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I think the reality is that not everybody has the skill sets necessary. Hopefully, they might know some people. So it's not necessarily just the committee members, but the community as a whole who is interested in trying to do these things. Because I can tell you that committee members are, you know, a number of elderly people that aren't going to be able to do a whole. I mean, they're going to do what they can. I don't want to take anything away from anybody. But, I mean, physically, there's just limitations. And, you know, hopefully we can overcome that by identifying some other people that are willing to help out.
With a small town and no maintenance guy, no park and rec guy, no guys to hang the flag up, no guys to do what has to be done. You know, I mean, we all have to pull our weight around here and make that happen. You know, so, you know, you can definitely do it. And I mean, you call me up and you need some help, I'll be there. Right? You just call me and let me know what you need. And me and you'll get together. I got the tools, I got, you know, whatever. I got the credit card, I can go buy under $1,000. I can go buy what me and you need and we'll make it happen. You know, so you get us a couple guys together. You know, because I have people that I can call right now will help me. I don't care what they're doing, they'll drop what they're doing. And I'll tell you one thing right now, I appreciate these guys. And they are doing it for the town and to help me. So they're not doing it to get no self-gratification out of it. They're just doing it for that. But I will be available to you, Mr. Long. You get out there with your list, you see what we need, you come up with a game plan. Because I wish I could do everything. You know who hung the flag signs up and who put the race fan signs out? Yeah, but I wish I could do everything, but I can't. You know, I'm limited to what I can do. When I'm doing, even putting that stuff up, I'm not politicking like I need to be for my town, getting that stuff. You know, and I feel I come short in that a lot of times. That I wish I could really be in Columbia. You know, be somewhere. You know what I mean, with you guys, pushing y'all, seeing what's happening. You know, you giving me, it's a lot different when you're face to face. So you get a game plan, Mr. Long, on the course. And you call me, and me and you'll get together and we'll make something happen. How about that?
Here, the General Assembly has adjourned now. I think you were talking about the grants. What's the status of that? It's not gonna, they just got done with the budget, so we won't know nothing probably until they get back or when I make a call or when I go and see the assistant down there.
So does that mean the park grant should go forward?
Nothing moves forward until they say, no, you don't have nothing. So we're just gonna, they have a time limit too, just,
If they're holding that?
yeah, and something's gonna happen, okay? Call me and we'll talk about it, all right? That's why I wanna get a communication going with us so we can talk about stuff. You know, if we don't have communication, especially on with Miss Brenda, you know, we don't know what's going on, we don't know what's happening. So the more that we commune, the better it's gonna be for the town and just things that's happening. In the meetings, even the meetings will happen. You know, so I will help you, Mr. Long, no problem. The report that I give you right now is a high frequency playground inspection daily and weekly, that we need this filled out for our insurance. Correct, Ms. Brenda? We can get a better rate if it's never been done before, so this is just some of the stuff that he gives us. I got 6 pages that I have to fill out. Me and Ms. Eugenia is gonna take it out. So that's part of the inspection for the playground. So, you know, you're more familiar with it, you're more accustomed to being around it, you'll be able to make a list of what we need and how we're gonna make this list happen. That's the most important right now, you know, getting that list done. And whatever it is, I mean, like I said, I got the tools, we'll make it happen.
Mayor, maybe y'all can explain to me, but my point is, consider that you're talking about getting these grants for these playgrounds or playground, and you're on the cusp of finding something out here, why should we go to react too fast to spend money on maintenance when we're gonna be getting money to perhaps replace the whole thing here within, say, 6 months?
Yeah, well, it's gonna probably be more time than money, and whatever money, the money that we spend is to get this inspection report done, so our insurance adjuster will be happy. Municipal Association insurance adjuster will be happy with us. This has to be done. It would be just like saying, somebody's gonna give me some tires on my car, but I'm gonna keep putting air in this one. You know, put a plug in and keep air in it, because you have to do it for the insurance reasons, for the liability reasons. So it's not gonna be a ton of money. I mean, the biggest thing I see out there, because I've been out there, the biggest thing I see is those platforms are rusting and looking bad. And I can take a grinder with a buff wheel in about 15 minutes and have that thing cleaned off, and we can spray some of that rubberized paint on there, some of that truck liner stuff. Okay, you got it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly, there's a specific thing they coat it with so that people won't burn their feet and what have you.
Okay,
And I don't know that is easily replicated.
okay, well,
But anyway, we can do
Yeah.
that later.
we'll discuss that when we look at what we got to do.
And
how to-
just to clarify what you're saying, Mayor, is that the money that we would spend on repairing on a temporary basis the park would likely come back to us in the reduction of our insurance through the municipal association.
Yes, sir.
So it would probably balance itself out in one direction or the other.
Well, at least the liability would be there.
We should do about it.
Okay, is that it on the playgrounds?
Yep.
Let's move on. Community garden, Dick and Diane's, nobody said for that. Let's move on. One street at a time. What we doing? Can you tell us what we're doing? Okay, one street at a time is gonna be, camera girl can't talk right now. One street at a time. What Saturday is it? It's not next Saturday, is it? It's next Saturday? But not this Saturday coming, but next. Okay.
The 25th.
Okay, the 25th, okay. So what we're doing is we're gonna go to the fire hydrants. Bring your weed whackers. Bring your paint. If you wanna paint one. Yeah, whatever you wanna do. Bring the wild brush, bring whatever color you want. Can you paint them any color? No?
You can paint them any color except black. Black means you're out of service. You can
Okay.
paint them anything outside of black.
Okay, anything you want. Yeah. How about I seen some painted like a dog, like the dog with the dots on, the police dog?
I don't see a problem with that one. They do it in the city all the time,
So
so,
paint them white and put black dots on it, it's fine.
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So bring your paint, bring your wild brushes, bring your soap and water. Yeah, bring your soap and water, everybody, come out and help us. We're gonna have a fun day, and there's probably gonna, I'm not saying that there is gonna be, but there might be hot dogs. Yeah. Yeah, there might be hot dogs.
What's the motivator?
Yeah, hot dogs, we got water for sure, and they can give you anything you want down there at the corner copper. We appreciate it too for doing that. All right, come on down. Have a, thank you. 25th, 9 to, we're gonna meet right here. We're gonna have a list of the fire hydrants where they're at, and we're gonna take off. Okay, so 9 and 12 on Saturday the 25th. Okay, next on the agenda, any questions?
Well, just for curiosity's sake, really and truly, whose responsibility is it to keep those fire hydrants painted?
Darlington County Water and Sewer.
I was gonna say, yeah. the
I got
water
that
department.
down. We're gonna, there's fire hydrants down here. We're gonna talk about them, Mr. Bashaw, and the new business in a couple minutes.
Don't you have a good relationship with them?
I do.
And I'd bring that up too, and I'll tell you something else I'd recommend that you do. Is that if they got any extra money, that old water tank that's not being used, if they don't plan on using it, that's an eyesore. And they can sort of put it on the back burner in terms of if they can't keep it painted. then
We
it-
working on it.
Good,
Working on it.
good, thank
Through
you,
COG, through COG.
thank you,
Already got a couple bids on it to
Thank
get
you.
to take it down.
thank you,
So it's gonna come down.
thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right, next on the agenda, rural infrastructure, Audi, L.E. Robbins, engineering company. I got it right, huh? Sometimes I get the L.E. Close enough. We know who you are, right?
My name's David Brandeis, with me is Mason Brandeis, we definitely relation. Just to give you a short, small background, a couple years ago, Darlington County won a grant through SCORE, the Psychotic Office of Resiliency, to do a study of all Darlington County, look at all the communities, specifically focused on areas that get impacted during hurricanes, flood events, also including things like ice storms and other things, but specifically about flooding. Society Hill was in that larger study, but it was becoming apparent, I think, Duke and others, that other communities were moving higher in the hierarchy, so your community leaders got together and went directly to SCORE and said, we'd like our own study. And so you got funded for your own study. So we're preparing that study now. Good news is it's 100% grant. There's no matching funds. Every dollar is paid for by the state, and it's only specifically looking at the town of Society Hill. Yes.
And that is, in reason, that's not about the whole big study. That was because somebody went and made that happen.
That's right. That's right. It would have been Society Hill would not have been included in the recommendations for further study. It just some of the other communities had more population, they had more impact. So Society Hill would have been pushed out. So it was a good thing the town did to go out and get that money. So it's just we can look at areas outside the town if they impact infrastructure in the town. So we're not completely limited just by your geography, but we are focusing in on that. So let me give you kind of where we are today. We finished the existing conditions report, and that's basically like a doctor telling you we determined what's wrong with you. We diagnosed your problems. And so that report's been turned into SCORE. A copy of it has been given to the mayor to look at as well. And we had some comments, a call with them today to look at some of those elements, and so we're going to make a couple of revisions to that. The other thing we've done just to assist the town, just as a course of business, is we've made an application for rural infrastructure grant, and that's the RIA you're seeing there. That was done in March. That is a grant where we accelerated looking at Hall, Kerrigan streets as they cross over church. One of the reasons we picked that is this particular grant scores well when critical infrastructure is impacted. There are two scoring mechanisms. One is income. And Society Hill, because you have such a small population, doesn't score as high as some other communities in what they call the low to moderate income index. It doesn't mean you don't have pockets of poverty in Society Hill. It just means that one or two incomes skew the numbers out compared to some other communities. And so it's hard for Society Hill to compete with other communities just based on the low to moderate income index. However, just as important is the impact to critical infrastructure. And We have a very important road that runs through the middle of Society Hill. It's a hurricane evacuation route. So that's why those streets in that particular location, we knew would score very high on some impacts, and why we focused that particular grant application. We have not heard back from the grant. We did have some follow-up questions, which we have answered, so we expect in the next coming months to hear from. If you don't get the grant, that doesn't mean all's lost. There are other similar grants. You can reapply for this grant year after year after year, using some of the same information we prepared. So we're going to keep throwing that grant out, and get the money for able to make some of these improvements.
How long will your study be effective? Good.
A flooding study like this will last at least 5 years. And especially a town that doesn't have a lot of growth, that doesn't, that's good and bad, because you don't have a lot of development going on. The drainage patterns don't change a lot. What does change is everything gets older or deteriorated, less maintenance. That continues, but you're not changing your drainage patterns very slowly. So what we're working on now in terms of work for SCORE as part of this grant, we finish the existing conditions report. Next thing for us to do is determine what areas we're going to focus on our study. 3 or 4 most important elements. We know one of them is going to be what we just did for the rural infrastructure grant. That's obvious. Come up with the solutions, come up with how much it will cost, come up with a set of conceptual plans, and we'll use those information to go out and get more grant. When we're done, it doesn't mean that we'll go out and start digging ditches and replacing pipes. What it does is it gives you all the elements you need to find that next step, which is get money to be able to do. Mason, you want to give us a little bit about some of the areas we looked at?
Yes, we had 17 prospective locations. Those were based on our analysis and as well as from the public engagement session and surveys we received from the public. So our 4 kind of main selections, Hall and Parody, were kind of put together as one. Church Street itself is a location that we know experiences quite a bit of flooding. There's also Burlington Drive and Sherraw Highway, where there may be something we can do in terms of a new detention pond. And there is a potential buyout location that's in the works. Buyouts are somewhat of a touchy subject, so we'll not disclose the exact address of that, so the homeowner can kind of have their options in front of them without it being known or anything like that. So I can give you a little bit of recommendations we'll have at this stage. We know new drainage ditches is something we'll recommend. Inlets, new and maintain the ones we have seen in the town. There's also cross pipes under, at least, and certainly under Church Street, we know this is a very likely recommendation with that amount of overtopping. And the new detention pond is something that we'll likely recommend as a solution on Burlington Drive and Sherraw Highway. It's something that DOT may need to get involved in, but all of this will be in more detail once we have the actual report finalized. I think there's some more information on
Yeah, we finished the diagnosis, now going into the solutions. We'll finish sometime at the middle to end of summer. We'll have our report completed. We'll come back to you guys for comments, things you like or don't like. We'll make another presentation, tell you some of the results. Yes, I'm sorry, thank you for reminding me, Mason. You'll see some survey crews that have already started coming out here. I don't know if anybody knows some survey crews. They'll continue to do that. They're trying to be very polite, knock on doors, tell people what they're doing. If you have an opportunity to talk to any of your neighbors, if anyone asks, this is what they're doing out there, picking up inverts and elevations and those things. They're very, trying to be very easy in the community. They're not cutting trees down or knocking over anything. They want to move around and shoot some points for us. But we need some data back so we know some of those elements. And we should finish up, like I said, toward the end of the summer.
Another question?
Yes, with that,
So, how much did you said you put in? Can you tell us how much you put in for?
just do you remember the number?
16,000? No, that,
Not 16, I think it was,
for RA.
yeah, the RA grant. I thought it was a $500,000.
Yeah, that's what you told me, Mason.
Yeah, the grant amount we put in was $500,000.
Okay.
Now, there is, with those grants, there are some matching numbers, but what we've used is the grant that SCORE has given you. That money can be used as the match to be, well, we're doing 10% design, so that can be part of your match.
So 189,000 that we got from school, right?
138.
138.
Unless you got some money somewhere.
I'm rounded off to the nearest number.
16 is what we're laying on with the matching portion.
Yeah, that's right, that's the matching. That's what
Okay, so 16,000 for us to match to get $500,000?
That's basically what they'll consider that you have in the bank already. The
Okay.
amount of work we've done will qualify for that 10%
Okay.
matching threshold.
Okay.
So we're trying to be thoughtful. You get a $500,000 grant and it's a $50,000 match, you might as well not exist. You just don't have the money to be able to match it. And a lot of communities struggle with, we need the money, but we don't have the money to match the money. So we're trying to be very smart about how to do it.
I'm thinking a couple hot dogs here, we'll get that.
Yes, sir.
Have you been given consideration to the ditch at West Depot and North Main with the old
Yes,
train depot?
yes, we definitely, that is one of the areas we're definitely taking a look at. And I think, did we walk at that time?
We was there.
Okay, I think we walked.
I think we talked about it before.
We certainly
We
did.
walked off down, the engineer with PD Kyle was recommended.
Yeah,
But the only problem with that is that that's not causing no infrastructure. That ditch is not causing no
yeah.
infrastructure.
It can still be, Mason mentioned there's 17 different locations. We will definitely have all of those located and put in. Our contract with SCORE is to pick 3 to 4, maybe 5 locations to further study. So we haven't made that decision yet. SCORE hasn't given us that back yet. And we'll make some recommendations. So we think are the best, the ones that are the most problematic. But all of them will be identified, and all of them could be items that.
How about over here, Presley, Townsend, holds the water? How about over there? Do you look over there?
Yeah, Townsend's one we're looking at, that is roughly the location of the buyout. That has not met quite our threshold for a design solution. You kind of have to balance the feasibility of it all and whether or not a design solution would fully work there or not.
So you said that's considered as a buyout?
It's in the
One
area.
specific property,
It's
it's
not.
not considered
The reason we don't talk a lot about the buyout is that particular individual has not been contacted. And so, and we found this in other communities. Some people welcome that discussion. Some people find it offensive and don't want to even talk about it. So we need to be very conscious of that particular individual.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the problem with Burlington and North and Chillow Highway? I want to know where there's a problem there.
This is wrong.
I guess it's a little bit more North Main, Main and Cheraw Highway. There was some pretty serious overtopping that we got reported. Now, there's no drainage infrastructure to speak of really on Burlington Drive that we see. There's flooding about all over the town here, so.
You want me to answer that? That's no problem. What the problem is there, Tommy, is them ditches is all clogged up. And you can go ask Robert Jones. Before I moved in there, in front of the cabin in Robert Jones' house has always had 3 to 4 foot of water every time it rained. And I went down and I walked that ditch back there, going down 52 on the other side of going toward the creek on the other side of Burlington in the woods. Julius's property where that trailer was right there, and that she just put in that new trailer. Right there on that property, I went and walked that ditch during Hurricane Florence with a hoe and a shovel and a machete and cleaned and pulled stuff out of that ditch so the water would drain. And then I put up a little dam about this tall. When that water comes up here, when they put that new road in, they let all that water dump right down and go right down across Nick's property. Henry Marie got that property right there. Across my property, across Kathleen Ham's property. Kathleen Ham's is a lake. When it rains, there's a lake. You walk, you can't go in the woods. And then it's supposed to hit that ditch, go in the ditch on Burlington. Then there's a culvert right before the cabin there. There's a culvert where the water shoots and goes in that ditch that I cleaned out. Okay? Well, and that water was not going in that ditch because it was all clogged. It was going back to the creek. It was going back to the creek, right? I'll put that little dam up after I clean that thing up. And call Robert Jones and ask him what happened during Hurricane Florence when Duke went out there and cleaned that ditch. He has never had a lake, and he every time for the 2 months after that, every time it rained, he would thank me for doing what I did because his yard does not flood anymore. But still, all on where I cleared out all the trees is just. I mean, when it rains, all that water from 52 goes right down. So
mostly what we found is a lot of the roads don't have ditches, don't have the proper size ditches. That's the hauling area for sure. I mean, you can't find a ditch anywhere on that road. The other thing we found is that some of the roads are so steep when they finally get to the inlet, the velocity of the water is way too high and it just zips on past. And that's the situation he's talking about, is that something grades is just too high and they just zip on past it. So what we have to do is increase the capacity of that inlet and that ditch so that the water has the time to get in and not jump over. And that's somewhat at the depot too. Depot has a similar condition.
I got another question.
I'm not aware of the water jumping over the road in any of those places that I'm aware of. Now, they had time out here in Townsend. Townsend impressive. Jungle, that's the only place that I'm aware of. Now, the springs are on Church, the spring, getting that deep.
Yeah, thanks.
It's Church Street, right there on Caribou. Come down, you make that right. Hall Street, you make that right. Right there before Miss Sims, right? That's the worst spot in this whole town. I'm sorry to tell you.
We got a lot of responses about that.
It's been patched up a million times.
Yeah. That's why, we kind of hyper-focused that and sort of expedited that a little bit for our borough infrastructure grants. So we kind of get that before we finish our ultimate stormwater master plan.
So we'll make some recommendations for our areas to study. You guys will have input to it. It's not just what we say. And SCORE will make the ultimate decision, but these are the ones that we're going to study. But you can take any input from the community.
And we'll have a public hearing for that, correct? But we had one already. We're going to have another one or not?
Not for our.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it's over with. But
it's council.
But we can still take what you say into account and what anyone calls my phone. We gave our numbers and contact info. So we can still take comments and considerations into account. We heard Townsend mentioned here tonight, and we had a couple concerns in Townsend, but Townsend's more of a problem area than kind of we heard of previously. We can take a more stern look at.
Well, you go
locations there.
Would you go on our community, Society Hill, our community, and get on that page? Because whenever something's wrong down on Church Street, they let you know down there, baby. I don't blame you, because I don't blame you, because I don't like that whole either, and I go down there all the time. It is.
Young guys who do stuff like that.
You're right. You ain't into all that. I hear you.
The area on Townsend and Presley, I think we don't see it on a normal, just normal summer rain, but every time we have a major storm, it is major flooding. And it floods all the way up the road, the properties on both sides, all the way from Townsend until it
pictures, right?
Pictures help tell us a lot. If you have any pictures, send them to us. That helps us document it. And it also helps for understand why this is an issue. They go, oh, okay, I understand.
In school, they're gonna give the final, what's gonna happen. So the more pictures that we have, the areas that's bad, they're sitting in their office, we out in the field, right? So the more pictures that we have, the more convincing it is for them on the areas that really need to be worked.
It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Pictures help.
Yeah, we want to spend $200,000 on somewhere where they ain't flooding over the road, tearing up.
And we want to spend the money that helps the most people. That's important. It helps with infrastructure. So let's say, Shoreline Highway gets over top, that affects a lot. One particular house gets flooded, that impacts one person, very important to that person, and that's one person, so they're looking for the biggest bang. Like we're all.
And so our recommendations, whether or not they're at a hyper-specific address or anything, we're trying to increase the capacity of the entire system. So something that may, is on Depot Street or Townsend, there's what comes upstream and what's downstream has to come from the upstream at some point. So to increase the entire system, we may have some effects, further downstream from Church or from Hall or Kerrigan. It's not about necessarily a specific fix at one specific location. They're all sort of connected, multiple systems. They increase the capacity and performance of the overall system. It'll have a more wide reaching sort of area of depression than just going to one specific house each time. Every person who's called us, we're not going to go build a retention wall on every single property. We focus on the system as a whole.
Gotcha. If you notice going down Presley before you get to Townsend, on the left, the ditch is stopped. Been stopped for years. They won't come there and clean it out.
Every ditch we've seen, that's a real touchy stuff.
Hold on, let me answer
Yes,
that.
sir.
Hold on. Everybody in this town, everybody watching, this council really needs to know this, and everybody that comes here all the time should already know this. SCODT maintenance, South Carolina Department of Transportation maintenance. All you gotta do is go on your phone and type in SCDOT maintenance. It will come up. You hit request work. When that comes up, you're gonna have 4 things that you have to do. You have to pinpoint on a map where it's at. Then you have to pull up a screen. The next one is pull up a screen and it's gonna say a bunch of stuff. Clean out ditches is one of them. Clean drains is another one. Trim limbs is another one. You click on that. Then they're gonna want you to tell them what the problem is. Then they're gonna want to tell you, or give them a detailed description of where the problem is. That ditch is not cleaned out because they don't know that all they have to do is call. Okay? I call up for stuff all the time, but when we was cleaning trash, when somebody asked me, pulls me over and says, "Hey Mayor, the grass needs to be cut on Union Street," I say, "Go on deal, give me your phone. Let's go, we're gonna make this happen." And I'll show them, I'll walk them through with them doing it, so they know. Listen, y'all, it's easy. It's not hard to do, it's very easy, and they will come. They will send, the DOT will come and clean that ditch up, I promise you. Okay? If it's not DOT, if it's a county road, that's DOT, they'll call it. All you gotta do is get with the county. The county will come and clean their ditches out, okay? They will change the culvert if it's bad. Melissa, do you have work done? Yeah. Yeah, I have it all the time. I call for people all the time because some people don't want to call. But we have to let them know that we need our town cleaned and they'll take care of it. Did I do good?
There's not a lot of grant money, though, to fix a problem that somebody's been. And that's a stigma. So if it's just been DOT having to maintain it, you're not going to find enough grant.
No. Well, we don't need grant money. All we need to do is get online, you call, and they'll come clean their ditches out.
Down in the church, you can call, and you can call, and you can call. You have to get down there and get them by the church and say, "Come here, walk with me. This is the problem. The culvert stopped." Oh, it is, yeah, that's the culvert, I've been told you about 10 times.
Tom, you know you're being filmed, right? Them guys are watching. That's not true, because I got, tell them. No, you put in that request, them guys will take care of it.
I told you, I put in the request, and they said the job was completed. And I'm thinking the job was completed. I said, let's put it in. I'm glad I kept it, took a picture of my phone.
Right.
And it wasn't, I had to go there, went in there, went to the head man, whoever, what is there, that name. And I said, look, he said, I said, and I showed him on my phone, and he said that, oh, he said, there might be a glitch in the system.
I told y'all, okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to say something. If you see it done, if it's not done within a week, put it back on there again, y'all. Or 2 weeks, or 3, whatever. Every week, you put that request in for that problem to be taken care of. It's gonna be taken care of. DOT, I mean, that's all you guys do, is clean ditches. That's all they do is trim back limbs, you know? And the most of them that I have to deal with, they're pretty small. You know, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna grab them by the hand and show them what to do, I'll tell you that right now. I'm just gonna let them do what they gotta do, okay?
Down on church down there, they would tell me, oh, we're gonna have to go down and re-asphalt all that, and I'm like, right down there, let me show you.
So
I go down there and watch that. If you just clean that culvert out where it's dropping coming from them springs, and the water just goes to them, that's what they should solve. It needs to be resurfaced and repaved and all that.
Okay, anything else? Mr.
No, that's all we have.
Sorry about
Oh, no problem, it's okay. Well, thank you very much.
That's it, that's all you got? Any more questions? Mr. Chair, you got a question? Mr. Long? Melissa, you good? Tommy, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate you guys. $500,000. All right, y'all get on back to Columbia.
We will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, old business, storage. Did anybody get somebody on the Better Business Bureau ready to put our building in? Because I did some figuring on this, just take this one right here, for instance. It's 26,000, 4 inches of concrete, this is the whole 9 yards turnkey, 26,000. The one that we were gonna get was 15,000. So here's $11,000 more plus the 3,400. We're gonna be spending almost the cost of the building that we was gonna get put up. It's $14,000 that we're gonna spend extra. The town's gonna spend extra on the same building because of the Better Business Bureau. Yeah, my whole life, all the construction I've been in my entire life, for 50 years in construction, we have always done references. And the company that we shut down had 3 good references. I don't know if the 2 new council members did, but everybody that was on the council before got their names and numbers to call and talk to them. We shot it down straight up one night. We shot down $3,400 of the town's money. We did. I did. Ms. Gill did. And now we're about to shut down another 11,000, so almost $15,000 the cost of the building. We're gonna have double cost of the building because of the Better Business Bureau. And that sets us at a standard where now we gotta have somebody with Better Business Bureau. We can't discriminate.
Are these 2 new estimates in addition to ones we had last meeting? These are different, these are.
I don't even have those. Ms. Finley, did I get those?
Yes. Melissa, they're the same that we had.
They're the same, okay.
I go back and.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, they're the same. But I did get another new one, but I was gonna have it tonight, but he never gave me the copy. I'm sorry, the concrete guy never got in touch with me. So I didn't, and he's A-rated, he's A-rated. So it's no problem, but he was, I don't know, we'll see what it comes up with. I mean, I'm just using that one as an example. You know, I mean, there was higher ones that I didn't even look at. So, any questions, or we're going to move on to the IT? Mr. Bradshaw? Mr. Long? Ms. Gay? We good? Okay. Move on to IT. All right, IT. Apparently, we're not using the phone no more. Next meeting we have, we're going to have a camera here. Already got the price on it, and it was $1,200. So I got the guy, I talked to the guy, I got it down $997.16. I did, Miss Eugenie. So that is for the camera. The switch, which the switch is something that goes between the camera and the laptop, and the stand. Okay, and the high frequency microphone. We'll use these, but we won't even need these. That microphone will pick it up, right? And so $997 and some change, right? So I went online, I pulled up 3 cameras on the same thing, whatever it is, V4, whatever. One of them was $2,300, another one was $3,000, and then there was one for $1,700. So it's definitely a good deal. And I just want everybody to know that we're going to purchase that $997 camera from Kingdom. And if anybody wants to know, you just reach out to me and I get it to you. Or I have Miss Brenda put it in the email. But it's under $1,000. You can't go wrong. The phone, nobody can hear. It's cutting in and out. Last meeting for the budget meeting, we didn't even record it. You know, if the people want to see it, you know, I wish they was here, but if they don't want to be here, they want to see what's happening. So
Is it a stationary camera?
it is a camera on a tripod, Mr. Long. No, it's not something stationary. No, it's not. It's more like a camcorder. Okay, but I question this guy.
Does it move?
No, nope, it don't move. It's
So
going to
it
be
is
fixed on us.
stationary.
Sir.
It is stationary. If it doesn't move, it's stationary.
Well, you can grab it and move. I mean, it ain't gonna be like that camera over there on the wall screwed in. You can move it. I mean, we can take it outside for your
But wherever you
Christmas.
place it is where it's
Yeah,
stationary.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. No, it don't have a joystick where you can swing around. I mean, we're
Well,
gonna.
some cameras follow is voice activated, is all I'm saying.
Oh, that's 10,000. I mean, we got a lot of American Rescue Plan money, but we ain't spending no 10,000 on no camera. It's got a little $500 phone over there doing a good job. Well, not too good. So I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. Any questions? Melissa, you good? Mr. Bradshaw, you good with the camera? Ms. Carey?
I'm just saying,
No, I think it's $997.15.
We have no say so. Process.
Yeah, you got say so. You got plenty of say so, but this is the way it works, Mr. Long. Under $1,000, the mayor has authority to buy something. Nobody in this town has authority to spend a dime. The clerk, the council members, just because you're on a committee and you got money in that bank does not mean you have the authority to spend that money. Nobody has authority to spend that money. There's only 2 names on the checking account. One of them is mine and one of them is Miss Brenda's. Okay? In the ordinances, it says the mayor has authority to spend up to $1,000. Okay? Right? After $1,000, he has to go before the council.
Well,
Right, so the
Now,
council has authority.
Mayor, that was set in the code of ordinance for this town for purposes of spending money during times of an emergency, when you didn't have time to wait for council to assemble. The septic tank was bad, or the HVAC went bad, or the transmission went bad in the police car. That's what that's for, you can spend less than $1,000. But you just can't arbitrarily pick things like this, and that wasn't the intent of the ordinance. We need to reword that ordinance to say it. And that can only be spent by the mayor in the cases of an emergency when you don't need to, you can't wait. You need to spend the money then. That wasn't the intent of that ordinance. I never used it that way and others never used it.
Well, I'm using it that way.
That's not
I'm
the
telling
intent.
you that.
That's not the intent of the ordinance.
Well, the intent is what the ordinance says. I don't know what the intent was. I don't know what you're trying to make up. But I'm telling you what the mayor right here. Don't argue with me, Tommy Bradshaw. Don't argue with me,
You're not
okay?
arguing with me. I'd like
Don't talk when I'm talking. I'm the chairman and I have the authority to talk. If you want to speak, raise your hand. This isn't a debate.
When you get through, I'd like to speak.
Go ahead.
I think what we do as a council, we need to reword that ordinance basically and say what the intent of it was supposed to be, because that's always been the intent of the ordinance, that this would be used for emergency purposes. Just like this, you just had a prime example. You're saying that because you like this camera and it's your idea, and you can say it's under $1,000, then you get to make that decision. That's not what that ordinance is supposed to be.
Well, that's exactly.
But that's not democracy. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We should be able to entertain, for instance, a camera that could be active. We don't know it's $10,000. You're saying it's $10,000. It may not be for $2,500, in which case it may be the best. Anyway, we ought to weigh into the council. We need to change that ordinance, I would think.
Well, we're not changing it tonight.
Not
And
tonight.
we buying that camera. And there's no further discussion on that. Because the way the ordinance says, and I'm gonna beat this cat up. Either one of you open your mouth when I'm talking.
You pointing at me?
Both of y'all.
That who has the temper?
I don't have a temper.
Oh my,
I don't have a temper.
what do you call it?
You trying to change, he's trying to change an ordinance? This authority is what I call it. Yeah.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Now, you said that the camera was 11 or 12. You got them to go down for the purpose of it to be less than 1,000 so you could purchase it.
Exactly.
Well, that's what it sounds
That's
like.
sure what it sounds like.
I don't know.
Okay,
That's what it sounds like.
One at a time. You have the floor. Keep your mouth closed, Tommy Bradshaw. That's not a temper. That's how I'm going to treat you. If y'all want to get out of order, that's how it's going to be.
I thought I had the floor.
He didn't have the floor. You have the floor. Go ahead, Mr. Long.
Well, I mean, that the intent, I don't know how the ordinance is written. But from your discussion, it sounded like you were determined to get it, and you, in order to do that, had to be under 1,000.
Yeah,
The
so,
price was reduced to allow you to do that.
right.
I mean, that's the way it sounded.
Well, I'm glad that's the way it sounded, but you're not happy that I got something cheaper for the time? Yes, sir, Mr. Bradshaw.
I would just say, if it looked like a duck, and it walked like a duck, and it quacked like a duck, it's usually a duck.
Oh, okay, well,
No discussion.
then let's have a talk about the depot. And I'm the chairman. It's not on the agenda, but there were some things happened December the 3rd to January the 7th, when that gray area, when I wasn't the mayor yet, I wasn't sworn in. I was elected, but I wasn't sworn in. And I'll bring that next, it'll be on the agenda, and I'll explain to everybody about the duck thing to you,
I'd be
Mr.
glad
Bradshaw.
for you, I'd be glad for you too.
I'll explain everything about the duck.
I'd be glad for you.
You want to talk about a duck?
I'd be glad for you too, Mr. Mayor. That would entertain me to the best. Bring it up.
Your little lip is moving a little bit, you get a little nervous. Anyhow, let's move
Nervous a
on.
bit,
So
Mayor.
let me ask you a question. We're not gonna get the camera? Y'all don't wanna get the camera?
No, you say you got all the authority.
Hold on. We don't gonna get the camera, Mr. Long?
It sounds like you've already done that.
No, I ain't done nothing. I said I was gonna get it. I didn't say I purchased it. I said I was gonna get it this week. You don't wanna get the camera?
But I'm not opposed, I think it's a great idea, I think we need to get it in. But I would like to look at some options. I haven't done that, I thought Scott was addressing this issue, so I have not done anything with it. I mean, I think that the system that they use for Darlington County is a great system. I don't know what it costs or anything of that nature. Just like COG there in Florence, they have a great system. And, I mean, I'm not, I mean, you talk about not reinventing the wheel. I would think that would be an avenue to compare and see what their situation, what they use, how they like it, that sort of thing.
Okay, would you like to do that? Why don't you do that?
Take it on.
You can do that. Let's find out what it is and we'll come back next month and give us a report on what you found out about the camera. You said you wanted to be able to check the options. I'm giving you the opportunity. Would you like to be the one to find the camera, Mr. Long?
Yeah, I don't have a problem doing it, but I'm not gonna commit to 30 days. I've got a pretty full schedule.
We need a camera.
We need a camera. I mean, we've been wanting a camera since we got the IT, since we got the American Rescue Plan money a couple of years ago. So you don't want to do it.
I just can't commit to doing it in 30
Okay,
days.
so you don't want to do it.
No, that's your choice of words. I did not say that. I said I cannot commit within the next 30 days. Give me 60 days and I'll have it.
Mr. Bradshaw, would you like to do it in the next 30 days? Can you do it?
No, I'd rather, if it's a long do it, you can do it in 60 days. I don't know that much about cameras.
I didn't either. I called the company, this Kingdom company, is a company that does a lot of churches and a lot of, he told me what to get. I told him what I was happening. I know somebody camera on my phone. I'm not a camcorder guy. I'm not a set up one of these camera guys. That's why I called a company that was. And when he told me and he gave me the price, I started looking around for the same camera, how much it would be to compare prices. Because that's what you do. You don't worry about the Better Business Bureau, you go and you compare prices. You talk to people, you get people's word of mouth. That's what you do. You get somebody that's already been affected by it. You don't get somebody on a computer. That's just how I work face to face. That's just how I am. But anyhow, so you don't want to do it in 30 days. You want to do it in 60 days.
I think I've said that twice, well, I said it 3 times.
Yeah, I would like to hear it again to make sure.
Yeah, I can do it in 60 days, but I can't do it in 30 days. I
Okay.
have a busy schedule.
Okay, then, so not April, not May, but the June meeting, you'll have some paperwork to look at.
Some information.
Any other questions about the IT? That was a little hairy right there. I need some water. Miss Eugenia, would you mind getting me a water, please?
Yes, sir.
No other questions. Let's move on to the first reading of the ordinance for the budget. Has everybody looked at it? What we discussed, and then went to Mr. Weaver, and then we got it back. Has everybody looked at it? Can we have this reading and everybody's gonna vote on it pretty good, or somebody needs more time?
Well, there's a number of changes that I wasn't sure about, but in it, we didn't go over the revenues. I'm sure all this will be addressed at the next meeting.
Workshop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it for the next workshop. We still have another reading, and we do have another workshop. So how about everybody else? Anybody else has any concerns that can be quick, so we don't have to take up a whole lot before we go to?
I would like to say that, given what Mr. Long just said, and that we adjourn the meeting without discussing the revenue part of it, without going down the revenue part, that I make a motion to approve first reading of the budget ordinance, given that we have another work session before we have third reading.
Yeah, it's on the calendar. It's on the budget calendar.
I want to make sure that we approve it, given, however, that we have another workshop meeting before we have third reading.
Yeah, it's on the calendar.
I make a motion for that.
Okay. Second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, let me just read what it says. An ordinance to approve the budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for the Town of Society Hill. Ordinance number 03-2023-2024. Whereas it is required by the Town of Society Hill to prepare a budget for the forthcoming fiscal year in writing. It be ordered and ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Society Hill, South Carolina, in council meeting assembled the 5/14/2024. That number one, that the budget for the Town of Society Hill for the fiscal year July 1st through 2024 through June 30th, 2025, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, be and hereby is adopted as the budget for the Town of Society Hill for the fiscal year referred to herein. This ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage and approval as provided by law. Done in Rafferty in council assembled the 5/14/2024.
First reading, right?
Yep, first reading with a second workshop before the second reading.
So we already passed that, the first reading?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought we did.
The council?
Did we vote on it? Yeah.
No, you didn't vote. You made a motion, I
I made
seconded.
the motion in a second, we need to vote on
Okay. All in favor?
it.
Looks like it's unanimous.
Yes, sir.
The first reading of the budget, 03-2023-2024 is passed. And the second one will be talked about, will be voted on after the workshop on
I think it's
5/28. When is it?
Yeah, I think that's.
5/28? Okay. Fire hydrants. I wish Bimbo was here. Bimbo, I talked to the, no, he's on watching. I talked to the Darlington County Water and Sewer. What happens is, every 3 years, they inspect the fire hydrants and send a report to DM. I talked to the supervisor. He said that it is it's very hard to just go in there and get the report. But anybody out there that wants to know if your fire hydrants work, you can call Darlington County Water and Sewer.
You can get it online.
Right here. 843-393-8131, extension 330. He's a supervisor. Tell him the address, tell him the proximity where it's at. He can pull it up and tell you what's going on with that fire. We're going to be out there this weekend, next weekend, weekend after next, taking care of it. So come out and help us. So then we'll make a couple calls. I'll let you know how they go. You got any questions, Lamar? Let me know, all right? Call me. We'll take care of it. All right, any questions? Steve, Denise, got a question? You all right? Mr. Long, you good?
Yep.
Willis? Tell me. Let's move on. Request for the comments for the citizens. Thank you. Joanne Duke. Uh-oh, somebody got over the camera. Camera girl.
I just want to make a couple of announcements for the library. We had the public meeting today. It was just the board people, but every quarter we are consistently having public meetings for the Friends of the Society Hill Library. May 24th, we're having a kickoff for the summer reading program. They're having a bouncy house, hot dogs. That will be from, I think it was 12 to 2. And then July 1st, we're going to start the membership drive. You'll see banners out going out for that. And then July 13th, we're having the historic dinner fundraiser / membership drive. So keep your eyes and ears open for the things that are going on at the library. Things are really happening over there. There's baby chicks over there right now. So they're just doing a great job. We want to support them. We love you all and thank you.
Yep, support Society Hill Library, Friends of Society Hill Library.
Question, Joanne, when is the meeting for the regular members of the Friends of the Library? When are those?
It's once a quarter. It was today.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought that was just the.
No, the public meeting was today. Yep. So it'll be once every quarter.
Okay, y'all put that out there. Can you come to the meeting?
It was on Facebook.
It's every second Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
And
Okay,
then,
same as the meeting here.
so if this is May, June, July, it'll be August.
Okay,
Second Tuesday in August.
all right. Good job, thank you. All right, that's it. Nobody else wants to say? Ms. Gale? Okay. Al? Okay. All right, Tommy, what you got? Got anything?
No.
Melissa?
Just one brief. I understand that we as a council, we will agree on all things and we may disagree on all things and we may disagree on some and agree on some. But it is my personal thought that we are adults and we are professionals. And I believe that those disagreements need to be conducted with an air of civility and maturity. And I feel like at some point, we have all fell short of that. And I think as a council, as adults, we can do better. We can do better for ourselves personally, and we can do better for our community. We set examples. We are here to represent our community, and I think our behavior should be representative of how they would want us to be. And I feel the civility is quite important, and I think it should be conducted at all times.
Ms. Gale? Sure? Mr. Long?
An hour at the top, I think.
Okay, I got a couple things. I want to thank a couple guys, and these guys help me all the time in this town. And I'll tell you one thing right now, knowing that you got them to call on is a big deal. They helped me move the fountain. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I called them and asked them to come. We was going to meet to move the fountain with Dick and Distractor. I get here and the fountain's gone. And we were supposed to meet at 4:30, Mr. Junior. Wasn't I here about 5 minutes early? And the fountain was gone. So, thank you. The tree, when the tree fell down there, them guys were there, okay? Christmas lights, they there. Hanging up the signs, they there. Right, Miss Judy? You helped me too. You know what? You helped me too. Your name's in there. You got it? Because you work on Miss Eugenia. I couldn't do nothing around this town
Not
without you.
just guys?
Huh?
Not just
No,
guys?
no, not just guys. No, man. I mean, I see y'all sitting there. I got a name. Y'all sitting there. You know, I'll get in trouble if I don't. You know? And Diane Beard, another one. Couldn't do it without. Okay? AJ and Brandon Wilson. Well, Joanne, you, especially my wife Joanne. She's what keeps me trim so I can do all that. Okay? So thank you guys. All right? The chicken plates were here at Harris Creek. Did anybody come and get it on Saturday?
I did.
You
We
got
did.
some? Okay. Yeah? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I came in. Yeah. So it was here, just let's support whatever's going on in our town, especially the council, we need to support it. All right? Already did the fire hydrant thing, so that's all I got, I think. That's all I got, Chief, right? You sure?
Yes.
All right, need a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned.